So in classic me fashion, I want golden brown. I mean, anytime you're doing something crunchy, you want that golden brown color and that golden brown flavor. Now, I'm gonna use panko for the outside of this chicken, but my main bone to pick with panko is that it never really gets as golden as I want in the oven, because it tends to like take too long to get that golden color. So I like to actually pre-toast it in a pan before it even hits the heat of the oven. So I've got a pan here over about medium-high heat, and I'm going in with 3 tablespoons of butter. Now that's pretty much the only, yeah, it's gonna be good, right? Guys, it's French, so you have to. Now I'm going in with that butter and just melting it down. If it starts to brown, that's just extra flavor right there. But the really good thing about this too is like this is all of the oil or fat you're putting in here. That's pretty much it. Then you just put it on the pan, it goes into the oven, and you are good to go. So into there I'm gonna add in my panko. So I need about 1.5 cups. Basically anytime I'm toasting panko, I want about a tablespoon of fat, oil, butter, something like that, per half cup of panko. That's gonna give you a good coating, so it's gonna be nice and tasty and golden brown. You get that beautiful flavor and color. Give that a little bit of a stir just to combine and coat. If you get bits that are a little bit more buttery, honestly, that's not bad. You just give that piece to the people you like the most, because it's gonna be the most delicious piece. All right, gonna season that up with a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper as well. And that's pretty much it for now. Give it a bit of a toss. And I want that to toast. That's gonna take just about 2 to 3 minutes to get that nice golden brown color on there. So while that does its thing, I'm gonna get to work on the chicken. Now, when you're making chicken cordon bleu, you want to use chicken breasts. Boneless, skinless, the one you get on sale. Buy them in bulk, store them in like zip top bags of like 2 or 3, you know, portions that'll thaw out quickly. But the first thing you wanna do is you wanna actually flatten it. Typically, this recipe, you almost cut a slit in the side and you stuff everything in. But I like to do this almost jelly roll style because it gives you a more even distribution of that filling. So it's gonna be absolutely beautiful. So I'm gonna grab one of those chicken breasts and I'm just gonna pop it down onto a sheet of plastic wrap. That's gonna help for cleanup later. Now, I do have a little bit of a hack whenever you're kind of pounding any sort of meat, trying to get it that nice thin texture. What I wanna do is grab a little paring knife and I'm just gonna put a couple slits in the top because that's gonna help kind of give this a little bit of a head start. I'm looking to get this to about 1/4 inch, maybe 1/2 centimeter. That's gonna be perfect for this delicious kind of roulade we're making. So I'm just gonna fold that plastic wrap right over top. Then you get your handy dandy meat mallet or rolling pin or heavy skillet or a weight, I don't know. Whatever you have that's got a good amount of heft to it is gonna be good to go. But basically what you wanna do is you wanna pound that. But when you do, you kind of wanna hit it and hit it like a timpani. If we have any percussionists in the house, you're gonna know what I'm talking about. You kind of go down and out. That's gonna make it so you don't kind of blast through that chicken. So you don't wanna do that. You just wanna give it a nice even texture. And again, about 1/4 inch thick. Perfect. That is looking beautiful to me. And this is the thing I love about this. If I were to just fry this up in a pan right now, I could convince people that that is 2 chicken breasts. It makes it look like you have way more to work with, which is an absolute dream. All right, that is looking beautiful to me. Nice and flat and good to go. Perfect. Now I'm gonna check on that panko over here. Give it a little bit of a shake. Oh yeah, we're getting that golden brown. This is where you get to see that color. Give it a bit of a toss. See that golden? That is what you are looking for. That's gonna give so much flavor. Now, if you want, you can keep going here to give it more of an even golden brown, but honestly, just this is gonna give you that lovely flavor we're looking for. I'm gonna transfer this though into a little shallow dish. I usually use a pie plate here because that's just what I have on hand, but if you have like a baking pan, that would work too. I do want to season this up a little bit just to give it some more deliciousness. So the first thing I'm going to add in there is about 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder. I love using garlic powder because it doesn't burn the same way raw garlic does. It also gives you like roasted garlic flavor without having to roast garlic. You just have to open a jar, which is, you know, a lot easier. About 1/2 teaspoon of that gets scattered over top. Then I'm going in with about 1/2 teaspoon of dried thyme. You could also use herb de Provence here, a really good herb blend. But if all you got is thyme, who doesn't need more time? Didn't even mean to. Oh my gosh, this smells like pizza. This smells delicious, guys. Hot tip, very tasty. Give that a little bit of a stir together. And I'm just gonna set that aside to cool. Now, while that cools, I'm gonna get to stuffing this chicken breast. Now, as opposed to doing that slit and using ham, classic deli ham, and something like a classic Swiss cheese, we're fancying this up a little bit. This is where we get into the 21st century. Instead of ham, we're gonna go with prosciutto, because why not? We're fancy. We're taking this French dish all the way to Italy. What a delight. Just lay that right on top, about 2 slices. I'm gonna season it up with a little bit of salt and pepper as well. I would usually do that on the chicken side, but I'm not gonna lie, I forgot. So we're doing it now. Pop that on. Then we're gonna go on with some cheese. Now, as opposed to using classic Swiss, we're going Gruyere. Gruyere is nuttier, it's way more delicious, super, super good. I've got about 200 grams here that I've grated. So I'm gonna go on with about 50 grams of that, scattered over top. And then all I need to do is roll this. So I have those roulades done right here. They're looking absolutely beautiful. It's got such good flavor stuffed in there. It's gonna be beautiful. I'm just gonna season those with a little bit more salt, a little bit more pepper as well. And then what I need to do is I need to adhere that beautiful golden brown panko that I made up before onto this chicken. So I need to make something sticky. And we're gonna make something that I've coined as food gloop. If you've watched this show, you've seen it before. But basically it's a mixture of egg with a little bit of mayonnaise in there. Now, typically, if you are breading or dredging some sort of meat or really anything, you usually do toss it in a little bit of flour, then you toss it in an egg wash, then you put it in your breadcrumbs or something like that. But by adding in a little bit of mayonnaise, so about 2 tablespoons per egg, so I'm putting about a 1/4 cup into here, you're adding flavor, because there's a little bit of lemon, a little bit of extra oil, all that deliciousness in here. But you're also adding stickiness. This is gonna be almost gluey. It looks gloopy. That's the only way I can describe it. It doesn't look great, but it is gonna be super gloopy and stick as much of that golden brown crunch on the outside. Do you see how much that thickens up? If you've ever made an egg wash before, it's usually kind of watery, or you get a little bit of that like kind of claggy bit that sticks on and it's not getting nice and thin. This is gonna give you a perfect coating every single time and stick as much of the golden brown on there, which is really like what we want in life. More crunch for our dinner, definitely. All right, so I'm just gonna set that whisk aside, and then we're gonna get to dredging these. So you kind of set up your station. You want the wet first, then you want those crispy, crunchy dries. I've got my chicken here, and I'm just gonna grab one of those roulades. Now, you can roll these up to a day ahead, wrap them in a little bit of plastic wrap and pop them in the fridge. You can even actually dredge them in advance, but what you're gonna do is grab that, just roll it in. Roll it the way that you rolled it, if that makes any sense, just so it doesn't unroll in the egg. Then grab that, pop it into that panko mixture, and give it a little bit of a roll. Do you see all of that sticking on? This already looks delicious. Don't eat it yet. I know it looks golden brown. She is not cooked yet, though. So give it a little bit of a roll through. And I'm just gonna pop that onto a parchment-lined baking sheet. I've got 2 already done here. We'll get the other one done as well. Again, this is me live figuring out to tell you. This is not written in the recipe. Roll it the way it's rolled, or else you're just gonna end up with an unrolled chicken fillet, which is not what we want. Ooh, know what I just thought of? You could also put some cheese in this coating. Little crispy cheese on the outside. This is why you watch the show and not just get the recipe online. Get those secrets. All right, give that a good roll to get that all coated. Perfect. Pop that on. Then this chicken, it needs to go into my oven. Now, since I've already goldened up that panko, I don't need to worry about getting it overly toasted in the oven, so it actually just goes in at 350 degrees. Not too high. Pop that in. Since we did roll it up, that will take probably around 30 to 35 minutes to come up to temperature. You want your chicken at around 165 degrees Fahrenheit in the middle, and you end up with something that smells out of control and looks like this. Like, can you even... Do you see these pools of cheese? Like, really good. Really, really good. All that cheese is oozing out. There's still a ton in the center. It looks absolutely beautiful. Real quick before I start chopping that up, because you do want to set that aside for about 5 minutes before you serve it, or else you're going to get like lava cheese, and you don't want that. You want some sticking in. I've just got some microgreens here. I'm going to pop them onto my plate. Microgreens always feel very French and fancy. Another thing to me that always feels very fancy, radishes. Just pop a couple of radishes right on top. You got the greens with them. We've got some purple radishes, some breakfast radishes. That honestly looks like such a cute little salad. Little bit of lemon juice on there. Little bit of oil. could do a little bit of salt and pepper too. That's as easy as it is. This is a really rich dish, so having a nice little bright salad right on the side is a dream. But let's get into one of these little chicken cordon bleus, shall we? Okay, I'm gonna go with this one. Okay, yeah, no, this one. See, this is where you get to choose, again, which one goes to your favorite person at the table. Grab your knife. You can serve them as is, or I just need you to see the inside. You cut into there. You see that stuffing? Do you see that cheese? Oh my gosh. Give it a little slice. Plate that up. You see that beautiful spiral? Pop that down onto your plate.
Hey, Mary here. What did you think? Drop your comments below and don't forget to like and subscribe for more of the good stuff.